करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So what we concluded in the last class laid emphasis on independent thinking and reflection. It is very important not to lose this idea of verifying the facts for ourselves and internalizing the understanding, internalizing the knowledge firm in our understanding. But this is not to reject the bhashyas or commentaries, because they are also important in the sense they form the link between the original scriptures and us. Even as you go through the scriptures and even as you go through the commentaries, the author is trying to say that maintain your independent thought, reflection and judgment also. Try to question. With all devotion you approach the scriptures, with all devotion we approach the commentary also. But try to maintain that spirit of questioning. Try to maintain that spirit of independent thinking, original thinking and reflection. Then what is relevant for us is that the knowledge must come into our experience, anubhava. That let's say you know this fact that fire is hot. Suppose if a person is going to ask, is fire hot? You are not going to bring in some article written in the internet or some scientific thesis to say yes. You will say yes. You will say yes, it is hot. How do you say? I know it is hot. Yes, I know. From my own experience, I know that it is hot. For internalizing the knowledge, reflection is the key. We have dealt with this before in detail. But reflection has to go hand in hand with your own reading of your own experience. That is very important. That is why in the Upanishad when they say Parikshalokan Karmachitan Brahmano, for the person who is qualified to study the Upanishads, Parikshalokan Karmachitan means one who has examined the world and one who has done the karma. That means there is a weightage given also for you, for your experience of the world. Just think about it. Suppose if the child is learning in the smaller classes that the fire is hot, that is fine and it will get ingrained in its system. And there is nothing wrong about this knowledge, it will learn properly and move ahead. But if the child has not experienced what fire is, or it's not that everybody has to burn their fingers in the fire, but somewhere close to it you know what the property of heat is. Unless otherwise this aspect is there, we will not be able to fully relate to what it means by saying fire is hot. Either directly or vicariously or by observing others, whatever way, you have to have that sort of somewhat a related experience to it. So, if experience aids reflection, reflection also aids future experiences, in the sense you will know how to go about having your experiences properly. So therefore original thinking is important, scriptures is important, our devotions is important. But ultimately do not leave the thought that it should come in your anubhava. This is about the ultimate knowledge also. So that bliss of self-realization, all this is not just meant for intellectual arguments alone, debates alone. You must see, suppose there are so many ways of interpreting it, there are so many angles to do it. So finally that thirst must be there that I have to find out the truth for myself. Otherwise I am not convinced. So therefore the emphasis is more on bringing it into your experience. And then he goes on to give an example to say with your present intellect, which is very, very limited now, how will you gain that ultimate experience? So the author says, don't worry, with your present intellect, start moving and keep moving. Your faithful use of existing intellect is the key. It does not matter whether you are at 5% or 10%. So the headlights in the car is a very brilliant example. The headlights of the car in a dark night can illumine only a few meters, and your journey is a few hundred kilometers. So you cannot then sit in a place and say, how am I going to go? Because you can just see only 50 meters or so. So it doesn't matter. With that existing headlight, you start moving in the car. As you start the journey and move ahead, you will find that light throwing a little itself more ahead. So exactly like that, whatever be the present stage of the intellect, you start with that, gain knowledge, apply that independent thinking, and then you will find that various other avenues of life are opened up for you. This is the way to go ahead, and then you will find that new perspectives of life coming. That is how the intellect develops. Your way to gaining more strength in the physical body also, what will you do? You have some existing strength and you have some muscles, whatever it is. You have to make good use of that, lift more weights or do more yoga or run more. Then you will gain more strength. Of course, other things also you do for the body, but you have to keep on using the existing thing, what you have. So never, all of us are born with some amount of intellect. When we say born with means that is the product of our past, and we are carrying forward that, and we start with that. But most people at that level only they operate, and they sort of maintain that status quo. Vedanta says if you are starting with 25%, your attempt in this life must be to move forward. It really does not matter whether you reach 100 in this life, but 100 that I should reach is the spirit, is the aim. And in that spirit, whatever you gain, you go along. Then you will find that the life opening up to you and you gaining knowledge directly. That is the Bhagavad Gita Upanishads is what are they saying? Ultimately, they want your spirit to be free. You cross over all the scriptures, you cross over all the symbols, and then finally you have to have that experience of the self. That is the aim here.
You need to put in time and effort to learn and live the sublime truths of life. Practice them constantly. Study, reflect, verify the knowledge in your own life. The path of truth is trying, difficult in the beginning, but you must continue practice. Cross over the initial impediments and obstacles. You will find the same path later becoming pleasant and easy to cover. Nature seems to help when you want to help yourself. Trials and tribulations, oppositions and obstacles are bound to come in your spiritual pursuit. They tease you if you are not endowed with a strong intellect, but with intellectual strength you can overcome them. These are only seeming difficulties in your pursuit of truth. The right type of spiritual education anchors you in the supreme reality. You ought not to let yourself be influenced by any school of thought, not be impaired by concession or conformity to any institution. You take in the truth of life as it reveals itself to you, not distorted with a religious bias. That marks the true way to spiritual enlightenment.
See, the path may be difficult, but only in the beginning. Once you get into the feel of it, then it is very, very pleasant. So this we have seen in the last chapter as to why also what is poisonous in the beginning and nectarine in the end. Here it's a very important and interesting statement that is given. Nature seems to help when you want to help yourself. Very, what to say, very pertinent statement, very classical statement. Nature helps only when you want to help yourself. This experience some of you might have had, that I'm slightly deviating from the main point here, but it's connected. When you genuinely want to study Vedanta, be in the spiritual path, from the type of life that we were leading, it is not that we have drastically changed or something, but the focus or the emphasis, that has definitely changed. In the sense, you become more introvert, you want to more dedicate to finding the truths of life. So what happens is that the people around you, particularly your friends, colleagues, they will first try to make a big joke out of this, and they'll say that, oh, you have your Vedanta, no, all these things they will say, and they will say that what is the big deal? I don't see any change in you. So many things that they will say, and you will feel also sort of uncomfortable. All this happens in the initial stage. Say, suppose even if you are part of, I don't know, some club, Lions Club or Rotary Club somewhere, and suppose you are sitting there alone, and that friends may say, oh, okay, you will not mingle with us because now you are all in Vedanta, you are in spirituality. So they will, then you tend to become defensive. It's not about religion, it's not about spirituality, it is about, improving ourselves. This, that. So we, in the initial phase, we are as though finding it difficult to deal with those people who are not antagonistic. That is what it is. It is they are supposed to be friends, but their activities are not like that. And you will find yourself sort of in a minority. The family reacts in a different way. The friends react in a different way. And they don't seem to understand or encourage you. One of the main reasons for this it is that, see, assuming that you are genuine in the path, to whatever extent you are genuine in the path, and you may be at a level that you are at 20%, you may want to go to 21, 22, at that level only you are operating, but you are genuinely wanting to improve yourself. The people around us, actually, in any form, whether it is family, whether it is friends, whether it is others, the power of the attachment works in terms of wanting to pull another person and just maintaining in the same level. That sort of a psychology works. But when you are sincere and when you move along the path, you will find yourself, I do not know for what period, you will be in like a glorious minority. You will be sort of trying to find it difficult to reconcile, trying to explain to the friends, but they will not, and they will sort of try to shun you or make things difficult for you. All these things are bound to happen. Then we feel, I know that I'm doing the right thing, but why is it that people are not understanding? Why is it that people are not encouraging? I seem to be in a minority without support, because our intellect is still not strong enough to be rooted and hold on its own. We are still in the process of building the intellect. Assume if you are in a Swami Vivekananda state or Ramatirtha says, how does it matter if anybody says anything? We are just not bothered. But we are still in the stage where opinions of people matter, and all those things are affecting us to some extent, at least it will be there. To withstand that sort of a push, you need a little more rooting. Okay. till that point of time, Swami Ramtita says this, you feel that you are in a minority, but he says it is not so. It is at that very moment, you are actually in majority, not minority, he says. It's a very interesting thought. See, all the people who are genuine in the path, later the friends, relatives, family members, everybody, they are going to turn around and not only support you, they may look up to you also for guidance, they might want your help. All those things are definitely going to happen in a small way. We have seen in our lives also. It is not a big ego trip. It is genuinely that when a person is a little more cool in life, a little more clarity in thinking is there, and when they see certain things that you are able to handle in life much better, then it is a matter of time when they themselves will honestly come and seek you, and you do not really shun them. Now, you want your friends also, you want your people also to know about this, and you will help them in whatever way. But this takes time. And you have to also not jump into wanting to help others and serve others until you become rooted. See, it is very important to have this helping tendency, okay? At any point, any person you want to help. But before you can learn swimming, you cannot simply jump in the ocean to save other person who is drowning when you yourself don't know swimming. With all the good intentions, both will drown only. So that's not. So you need to give yourself time to get yourself rooted. So eventually, everybody is in your side and you are in majority. That is clear. But Swami Ramatita says, at that very point of time, when you are in the initial stage itself, when you yourself turn towards spirituality, turn towards finding yourself, whatever be the path that you have taken, where you seem to be in isolation vis-a-vis your other folks, even at that point of time, he says, don't worry at all, you are in a majority. He is not trying to give an emotional solace. He is saying it as a fact of life. Think about it. Okay, let me leave it at a thought for you. Think about it. It's a very, very interesting thought. He is not talking about a future date. In that very moment, you are in a majority, he says. Okay, fine. Now come back here. Here he says, nature helps you the moment you want to genuinely help yourself. This is a fact. See, the episode in Ramayana can be interpreted in this way. You are not dependent on any factor outside you for your pursuit. Meaning, we are not dependent means we are part of the world and everything. We are mutually interdependent. We are not talking about that point. When you start on a mission, when you want to achieve your goal, when you set a target, first you don't start with let me bring people along, let me bring money along, let me bring this along, and then I'll try to do something. It doesn't work like that. The process starts with the firm belief in the power within you, which is the Atma, which is actually the infinite power. Every mission you see in this world which has stood the test of time and achieved such great successes are all started by one person with his inspiration. That's about all. Institutions are built around them. Shankara mutts are serving the society for centuries. It is all inspiration of one Adi Shankaracharya. Did he say that first let me collect all the people and collect all the money and then that? No, that's not the way he did it. Anything for that matter, you think of any great achievement, it all starts with the spark of an idea. And that idea is, that product of inspiration is deep within you. Believe on that and move ahead. When we studied poems, we studied this, if less be possible with less, he said, Samuel Johnson. With that idea, not worrying about the result, take the steps and start moving, you will find that the whole universe conspiring to help your cause. That is how it is designed. Every help and every support will come along your way. Because you are focused on what is the truth or reality. So in Ramayana, what happened? Monkeys, bears, all these will help Rama. The rocks will float on the water. Even squirrel will help. Why? Rama is on the right pursuit. That is the meaning. Even without all these things, Rama will still continue the pursuit. Let us look at it even from a human point of view. He will still continue the pursuit, irrespective of whatever be the mission of his success of his mission. He will continue. But it is a law that the nature will conspire to help you. So therefore, we need to turn the magnetic compass in our system towards that north direction always. That's all. You just follow that direction. It is bound to help you. And second point given here, which is very important, is only for a person who is on a mission, on a path towards something great, obstacles will also come. Need not be even just the highest self-realization. Even in the world, some lofty ideal you have, some great achievement that you want to make, inspired ideal when you have for working for others and some great cause, many obstacles are bound to come in your way only. A person who is not inspired to do anything, who is just tamasically doing whatever he is basically doing and carrying on with life without any motivation or inspiration. From an outward point of view, everything may seem to be smooth for him at all. That will carry on like this. But that is not a proper way of living. That is why next he is going to talk about what are the elements of right living. So he is not living to the full potential of even a normal human being. So there is no question of comparison or debate on that type of a living. When a person shakes his status quo, complacency, and plunges into a mission, which is, it could be just you're building a great hospital, or all this thought comes from a deep inspiration, I'm saying. That the moment you want to serve something, serve the cause, there will be obstacles that will be present in your path. These obstacles are of different types, and this also we have dealt before. Quickly I'll say, and these obstacles you need to cross over in different ways. We have said, studied in the previous chapter also, you must relish those challenges, in the sense, just as a athlete will relish tough challenge so that he comes out as the best. Any competition will bring out the best in you, and you have that spirit to overcome it. You have that will to overcome it. And overcoming is based on the power of the infinite within you. So it will be definitely overcome, but they will be posed as challenges for you. Any person who believes in his strength, he may have doubt whether this will be accomplished or not. But anybody who believes in the strength of the self within, which is Atma, he will say, yes, it can be done. There is no doubt for him at all. Before Hanuman jumps to Lanka to find Sita, he soliloquizes. Before that, they are debating as to who has to go. And the story is that Hanuman for a moment is not participating in the discussion because he has apparently forgotten his power. So one monkey is saying that I can jump 20 yojanas. One monkey is saying I can jump 30 yojanas, 80 yojanas. Jambavan is saying, and finally Angada is saying I can jump the 100 yojanas, but I'm not sure of returning back whether we'll have that power. So at that point of time, Hanuman is not saying anything. He is keeping quiet, and Jambavan is talking to him and invoking his power. He says, you can do it, and only you can do it. You have that power. And Hanuman regains his confidence and strength, and he goes on to the top of that Mahendra Parva, that is that mountain, from where he has to cross, jump, leap into the air and cross. So there he soliloquizes to him and says, I will definitely find Sita. If I am not able to find Sita, because they know she is in Lanka, because Sampati said she is able to see, but not clearly where. They know now she is there. I will definitely find her there. If I am not able to find her there, I will bring the whole Lanka back here. Like that is the confidence he says. And all this he says, it is not coming out of his ego that I will do it or something. He says, because I am the arrow of Rama, he says. And so the moment you say it is my power, whether it will be accomplished or not, whether you will have full power, we really do not know, and you may still have doubt. But the moment you consider yourself as the arrow of Rama, 100% it's achieved. No doubt at all. So the person who believes in himself means here the little ego, he will have doubt. The person who believes, Rama means who? The Atma within. The person who feels he is the instrument in the supreme hands, he is bound to have that confidence. And when he jumps and leaps and goes, there are three obstacles that come. This is also, it's very interesting. Itihasa or Ramayana and Mahabharata or Itihasa. Itihasa means thus it happened. It's history. Itihasa. Thus it happened. Okay, this is different from what we understand as Purana. Okay, still we use the term in English mythology for this, which is not the right word. Because the very word myth itself gives an opposite connotation of Itihasa. Myth means something false. It comes from the word mithya, we don't know. Mithya means false. Myth is false. But Itihasa meaning is thus it happened. It is true, that, and ha in the meaning in the word Itihasa lays emphasis. Of course it happened, that sort of emphasis. But it is not merely a history just as we read in history books. Okay, Rama lost his wife, conquered back, and Hanuman helped here. And what is the relevance now? Why are you saying all those stories now? We have had a history of Greece. We have had a history of the certain epics there also are there. But is the relation to the epics, the Iliad, whatever epics that are there, is it in the same way that we have the relation with Ramayana and Mahabharata? Probably no. Ramayana and Mahabharata are not just stories and histories. It is also giving us the way of life in terms of what is to do for us now, how we have to conduct ourselves in the path of Dharma, and various other meanings also can be derived from each and every episode, from each and every character, and symbolism. So many levels are there for us to relate with these epics. So Hanuman's crossing of the ocean to Lanka is very relevant as far as our spiritual path is concerned. When he crosses, he encounters three obstacles. First is the Mainak, the mountain which comes from the ocean. It comes. Mainak is his friend of Vayu, who is father of Hanuman. The story is that Vayu helped Mainak because in the previous yugas, the story is that mountains used to have wings, and they used to fly here and there. Imagine if mountain is flying, how difficult it is. I mean, when it comes and lands, there will be earthquake, right? So Indra cut all the wings. It is with his Vajrayuda, this is the story to bring normalcy. I mean, this is not, but Mainak alone escaped the Vajra of Indra with the help of Vayu and settled itself under the ocean. This is just a story. Okay. Now that Mainak comes out to say hello to Hanuman and say, thank you, your father is my friend, so you are going on a mission, so you must be tired. In the ocean, you cannot stop anywhere, right? So you just have a rest here, have a cup of coffee. Like that is the obstacle coming. So Hanuman says, thank you very much, but I am on a very serious mission now. I'll have to go. Thank you. On the way back, let me see. Like that, he talks nicely and circumvents the mountain, puts a namaskar and goes. Next comes the Surasa. She is a demoness. She is somebody who stops Hanuman, says, and that you cannot go past me until you enter my mouth and come out. Hanuman says, all that is fine, but we'll have this game later on. I'm on a mission now. Please allow me to go. Later we'll see. I do respect what you say. I respect your strength also, but there's no time for this now. She says nothing doing, and she opens her mouth. So Hanuman deliberately makes himself large. So 8 feet. She opens 16 feet then. He goes to 32 feet. She goes 64. Like this, her mouth is also increasing in size. Hanuman is also increasing in size. Suddenly Hanuman becomes very small, very, very small, like a mosquito or some small insect. Goes inside the mouth comfortably and comes out before she could even close the mouth. So with his intellect, with his thinking, with his smartness, he overcomes this. And she says, yes, I have been sent by the gods to test you. And you have passed the test successfully. I am also relieved of my duty here, and she goes to heaven. And then comes the third and final obstacle later in the form of another Rakshasi who is called Simika. She has the power to catch the shadow which is there on the ocean and pull and eat. And Hanuman is not able to suddenly move because she has caught his shadow. Again, he pleads to her, nothing works, and he knows that nothing else is going to work. Finally, there is a fight and he finishes her off. And then he finishes his mission in Lanka. Now, what does this 3 obstacle mean? What is Hanuman's pursuit here is based on a single pointed focus, something that he wants to achieve for a cause. And in that cause, there will be obstacles. These obstacles are threefold. We can equate it to the 3 gunas here, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. We are going to study the gunas in this chapter, very relevant. So one is a friendly obstacle. In your project, there are your friends who really don't mean to be an obstacle, but sometimes they end up being some delaying or causing some delay in the thing. Suppose if you are wanting to attend an important class or something, you have value for that, and that time only you'll say, the neighbor will come. You'll say, read this article, so nice it is. And they will say some newspaper cutting, something. You'll say, I want to discuss with you. You'll say, yes, you watch this. Match is going on. 5 minutes, I'll come. Something like that you diplomatically tell him, and you have to circumvent it. Obviously, you are not going to fight with him. He is not your enemy. But he seems to be like, at that point of time, because of his some nature, his good nature. He is also wanting to not do something harmful for you, but you have to remember the mission and deal according to the situation. Not that every time you are going to spurn his offer or something like that. It is at that point of time. And second obstacle is as though gods are testing you, nature is testing you, because when you are in a mission, do you have that full inspiration and power to finish it? Or will you fall in the very first challenge itself? So the moment a person says he starts, but immediately something comes, oh, come on, let us return. No. What is the way to get over it? You have to think. You have to smartly make your moves. Maybe use some connection here, use something here, get the project done, get the sanction, and something you have to do. And that is using your intellect and smartness. So gods will sort of test you because they want you to move ahead, and they build that enthusiasm and spirit in you. Nature, in fact, helps this way. And then there will be some real obstacles for any good project, for anything, that there will be people who will be opposed to it. And you need not take it personally. But for a cause, if as a final resort, they need to be removed, they need to be removed. That's it. Nothing personal here. Hanuman does not have a personal enmity with any of these people. But she is not letting at all. There is no other way. These people are real obstacles, tamasic. There is finally no mercy shown, and you have to, so various ways by which you have to move and finish off these obstacles. So these obstacles are thrown to a person who has a mission. So if anybody says, I don't find any challenge in life, means then probably re-examine yourself. What are you really wanting to achieve? You need to therefore shake yourself out of the comfort zone and go further. And only when you go further and further, you will be feeling extremely inspired and happy. Not only that, you will relish bigger challenges also. There is a mountain. See, after you climb a mountain, next range comes. But you have to go till the Everest. You know that thought should never leave you. So some mountains may be a little tough. Sometimes the climate may be this, but never leave the thought that my mission is to ultimately land in Mount Everest. That's it. No compromise till that point of time. What is the right type of spiritual education? Right type of spiritual education anchors you in supreme reality. You may attend various classes, you may go to I won't say various gurus, but whichever guru you want to go to, all that is fine. Having got once fixated there over a period of time, how do you know that it is the right spiritual education, it's the right path? This is the test. It anchors you in supreme reality. Whether it is any guru, whether it is any path, it makes you more and more independent. And that independence is measured in terms of how you are anchored in reality. You will become more stable. Nothing can shake you. That is the thing. If you get attached to an institution and get attached to a guru, but it makes you more insecure, let us say, over a period of time, then probably either you're approaching it wrongly, or whatever is the education that is given there is wrong. Something you need to re-examine, not immediately, I'm saying over a period of time. At least after 2 years, if you feel that you are becoming more insecure in life, you are becoming more, dependent on others, then there is something wrong. The right type of spiritual education, he says, anchors you in the reality.
Elements of right living. The knowledge of Vedanta infuses the elements of right living in your physical, mental, and intellectual personalities. Your actions develop a spirit of service. Your emotions become chastened with love and other positive emotions. Your thinking is rendered clear and divine. Maintain these disciplines through daily study and reflection on the sublime truths of life. You then become attached to the higher aspects of life, consequently detached from the lower. You live an ideal life, evolve to the highest state of perfection.
The next topic, elements of right living, is going to introduce those aspects which are the basic fundamental elements at the 3 levels of our personality. This is eventually going to be discussed in detail in the next 3 chapters. What is at the body level? What is at the level of the emotions or mind? And what is it that we need to be having at the level of our intellect? These are little fundamental and deeper than what we call as values, because these are like a must. When you say right living, only human needs to understand and set himself in the path of right living. Because as far as other creatures are concerned, there is no such thing as right living and wrong living. It's only right living. I mean, it's only the proper living that they live. They have no choice. They cannot live in any way wrong. A tiger cannot do anything wrong. A cow cannot do anything wrong. Similarly, eagle, snake, or any plant, they just have their elements. Fundamentally, they are there, and they are set in the path. But for us, it is not so. So we may exist with our lower natures also, but we need to raise ourselves to the higher nature, for which these are the fundamental aspects. What are the fundamental aspects that we need to practice at the level of our body, mind and intellect. First, he starts with the level of the actions at the body level.
Two broad principles govern human action, based on the attitude of giving or taking. If the attitude of taking prevails in a society, it breeds selfish demands and desires in its members. As a result, they are infested with stress and strain. Let their attitude change to giving and drop their selfishness. They enjoy harmony, peace, and happiness. The dignity of the human race is founded on the principles of giving. Victor Hugo highlights this great principle. Life is to give, not to take. No person has a right to claim anything as his. He ought not to desire demand from the society. Perhaps his only right in the world is to give, to serve. Be content to serve, pleaded Christ. Serve the world, the entire world stands in obeisance before you. Objects and beings will be at your beck and call. You become a master, no servant. That is the law of life. The moment you are born, the good world provides you with everything you need. Oxygen to breathe, mother's milk, the right temperature within and without, pressure inside and outside, and countless other things. You become totally indebted to the world. You must therefore maintain a sense of gratitude through your life and serve the world, serve the society, serve one and all. This is the first of the elements of right living. The attitude of service maintains your spiritual well-being. The Bhagavad Gita says it is criminal to consume the resources of the world without contributing to it. He who eats without producing is verily a thief.
A very powerful statement from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12, for those who are interested. Tayirdattana pradayebhyaha yo bhunkte stena eva saha. Stenaha means thief. A very powerful word used by Krishna. Normally we don't find such words in Bhagavad Gita. It's not a wrong word, but the fact that he is saying, calling somebody as a thief, shows the impact of the depth of what he says. It is okay for a person to be taking in the first stage of his life. Whatever you are taking from parents, from society, everything, money and education, everything you are taking, but the whole life must be prepared in such a way that you are in the mode of contribution. So if an adult is continuing to take the resource from the world, from the society, and without contributing, he is nothing short of a thief. He is a thief. Swamiji's commentary for this verse in Bhagavad Gita you can read. He gives a quotation of Horace Greeley. The darkest hour in your life is when you plan to have something without earning it. I mean, something to that effect, it says. Even the thought, see, forget about actually you trying for it and actually. So the moment this thought bounds to come, oh, how nice it will be, somebody gives me ₹1,00,000 now. How it's nice if somebody presents a car to me now. For what? For what actually? See this, not just for what. Having a car is okay. Why don't you just earn money and buy a car? Why don't you earn it with your action? In fact, that will be more tastier for you. A child says, get me this toy or get me that, that is understandable. From a child's point of view, it's understandable. But for an adult, he says, this very thought that without me earning for it, let me have it, is a very dangerous thought. That is why Swamiji comes down heavily on this attitude of grabbing anything that is offered free. They are playing with human weakness. No company is going to give anything free, all that is charged, but they are only encouraging this thought in you that I must grab. That is why never should you incur or have that Rna within you. Rna means a debt. See, the whole thing comes from a beautiful thought flow is here, that he says, any individual or any society, whoever is in the attitude of giving, they are going to prosper. Whoever is going to be in the attitude of taking, aggrandizing, they are going to suffer. Temporarily, you may seem that it is accumulation for you, but it is going to be extreme suffering, extreme suffering. You will, even if you have certain things, you will not be knowing how to use it and enjoy it. It will be only as a burden for you. This thought of aggrandizement actually constricts your personality. It happens at the individual level, it happens at the society level. So he says, be content to serve. You are given an opportunity to serve. And where does this come from? This comes from this understanding of Rna, and that is where every master says, every religion will say, but our system has put it very nicely and emphatically. Everybody is born with debt, it says. Every Hindu is born with 5 Rnas. Not every Hindu, everybody for that matter. But we have adopted in this way, and therefore we are saying. Our scriptures are saying, and therefore we are saying. You have the Rna to the gods, who is making everything function for you. Be it sun or rain or everything is there, in the forces of the universe is there to help you. You have the Rna to your ancestors, to your parents and the ancestors, because they are the cause and you are the effect. You have the Rna to the rishis, who have maintained this knowledge. Recently we had the Guru Poornima. Why is it that you have to remember? At least that day is symbolic of remembrance of these gurus, Guru Parampara, without which we cannot survive as human beings. We will survive as other creatures. That is existence, not really living. That's why this topic is elements of right living, not existing. The knowledge, of course, all the teachers, but mainly the spiritual gurus, acharyas and rishis. And the fellow human beings you are indebted to. Without their services, we are social creatures living in cohesion in the society. Without the help of fellow human beings, we cannot survive. And of course, all other aspects of plants and animals and insects and every aspect of nature. These 5 debts are there, 5 categorization, everything. So at least you be aware of these first. So that is why understanding of what is known as Rta is important. Rta. Rta means, in English you can use the term rhythm. Rhythm is Rta. There is a beautiful rhythm in the universe. Rhythm vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, says the Upanishadic Shanti mantra. It is the law that is governing this, which is the ultimate truth. The manifestation of the truth, functioning as a cohesive, beautiful, synchronized functioning of the universe. That is rhythm. Everything is set in order. That order is rhythm. Once you understand that order, you find that each and every creature, every being is fitted in beautifully in this order. And all other creatures are living their life in the spirit of service and sacrifice unconsciously. They are doing it. River, mountains, crow, rose, cow, every creature Even the insects that are transferring the pollen from flower to flower, unless that is there, nothing will happen. Fruits will not emerge and you will not eat anything. Every creature is doing its part. Earthworm, every creature is doing its part. Meaning they fall into this rhythm. We have to fall into this rhythm consciously. Because human being alone has this ego which tries to segregate itself from this whole orchestra. So when you have this idea of getting into this rhythm, then you understand from that rhythm comes this Rinam. So once you have this attitude of Rinam within you, Rinam is that feeling of debt, then you want to actually contribute. Once you want to contribute, you are mingling with it. And that attitude of contribution, it's not, you cannot repay any of these debts. So have that act. So we started by saying that never get into that mode of Rina means, so even as, see, for a newspaper which is giving mostly a stuff which is unwanted, you are paying some subscription. Okay. But when it comes to the best of the things, people want it free of cost. The attitude of free, I'm coming back to that. Why should you want it free of cost? Once I think it's Swami Dayananda, a company with all their good intention only, they wanted him to come and address his organization. And obviously, whenever these great teachers go, they will be paying some donation to the cause or something like that. That is there. But the way in which this person asked was, sir, how much should I pay for the session? In other words, he is asking to the effect that what is the charge of this knowledge? So Swami Dayananda ji, he said, if I were to charge for this, you can never pay. You will become a pauper. You just can't pay. If I have to put a real charge to this, you don't have the resources to pay. It is much greater than whatever you can conceive of. Okay. In fact, all the best things of the world are available like this only. Whether it is this knowledge, whether it is oxygen, whether it is pure water, everything is given to us just like that. Few decades back, there was like Swami Ramdev Baba, like that. Many yogis were there in every street corner or every village like that. Now we don't value. When you don't value, now you will attend this session paying a hefty fee, and you must pay. You must, to learn even the basic fundamentals of the yogasana and breathing and other techniques, better pay. So same Bhagavad Gita, if you are not valuing it properly, you will attend somebody's Stephen Covey or somebody's equivalent of that, some seminar, Ramin Sharma and others, where you will have to pay a hefty fee to sit in that first row. And what are they saying? Some fundamental basic principles from certain verses of Gita. But when it is given to us and available to us free of charge, we don't value it. So at least you must have that attitude of not wanting to be a Rinavan. Every guru, in fact, wanted it. They will not want to be indebted to even any student. So they give back bountifully back to the student actually. And the student is expected to give back to the guru. All this is in the form of each person's duty. That's all it is. It is not that I have paid my fees, you better come and teach. No. The guru also in the tradition takes dakshina only if he is satisfied that he has imparted the education to the student at the end of the course. And the Taittiriya Upanishad says, after the course is over, please give whatever is the dakshina to the guru to his satisfaction, he says, after the course. Because the moment you pay before the course, you take the stance that I have paid the fees, that I think. No, you better serve him, you better be with him, and that is the proper way of learning. After learning, you have, and you cannot definitely repay. You just cannot repay. But your attitude of gratitude to that source will help you to imbibe this knowledge. So like that, I would say, whatever you are reading in internet also, some might give you some beautiful thoughts and beautiful ideas. Some might be teaching music to you, whatever it is available in YouTube, whatever it is. But try to find out the source and try to contribute in any way to them. Not, of course, money is the aspect of contributing, but the thought that you must contribute. It might be the best way of contribution is that you learn and you pass it forward. That is the real contribution. That is the real way of repaying. There is no compromise on that. But to have our satisfaction, to feel that sense of gratitude, whatever I need to give, a token of that, a representation of that, you must be always wanting to give. And all this we started by saying, this attitude of grabbing or taking anything free should not come into our system at all. We must be happy to pay the price. So even if discounts and other things are offered, don't accept the discounts. And never ever even bargain with those who should not bargain. And what you will find is, it's a very simple mechanism. Suppose there are people who bargain with the porters, okay, and it might be that the porters are also exorbitantly charged. We are not getting into that, but on an average, how many times that you travel in train in the whole year? I don't know, maybe 3-4 times. Put an average like that. Okay, 6 times, once in 2 months. And in the bargain, how much are you saving? 10 rupees, 20 rupees, okay, 40 rupees. 250 rupees you are saving in a year by extreme bargaining and this and that and scolding in each person, carrying all the luggage. As he is bringing the luggage also, whole area you are having the tension. Is it really worth it? For the 250 rupees that you are saving in the whole year, how much of tension and stress and strain that you are carrying in your mind, and that you will eventually pay to some doctor. In your medicines you will pay. It is not that you are not going to pay. So why not see that smile in the face and give? So if you ask, the bargaining should be, if you ask for 10 rupees, give 15 rupees and come. That's all. Because you are in the position of keeping a porter, and that is why you are also saying. Otherwise, you carry your luggage and go. You will travel. So the thing is that that extra 2 rupees to a taxi driver and this and that, these things should not actually, this is where it starts actually. It's a very simple thing. So somebody says, buy one, get one free, this offer, that offer. All those offer, immediately you have to reject. You have to reject. So all this is only adding to that attitude of that, what can I grab? So here the author is saying, life operates on 2 broad principles. Attitude of giving, attitude of taking. It's just the attitude. It's not that tomorrow you have to write all your property to somebody in will and stand in the street. I'm not saying that. That attitude, the moment it comes, you will have enough ways, means and resources to give. See, it can be this, that we are not doing anything with money, but the attitude here is that what can I get out of this, whoever is the class member here? Not money, money alone. It could be respect. It could be following. It could be some emotion. It could be anything. That, but I want from you. The whole dignity and prestige of the class goes away. The grandeur goes away. It is just another mamuli thing. That's all it is. Exactly like that. It could be that you are just giving something to your family. It's okay. If a lady is just cooking, but is contributing to the well-being of the family, that must be her duty-oriented approach. So we'll just conclude these 3 words. You remember, Rta. From Rta comes Rna. But this Rna should not create a guilt feeling in you. It's not that, oh, I'm indebted, I have to pay. You should not carry a guilt, because for a simple fact that you just cannot pay. Forget that. You just cannot repay. But that without that having that guilt feeling, whatever you do in terms of your duty to repay the debt back, that is when you are following Dharma. This is one important angle with which you can understand Dharma. Dharma is something which has no equivalent in any language. Dharma is Dharma. How do we understand Dharma? Dharma is when you set your activities in a way that you want to repay the Rna without a sense of guilt. Then you are living according to the principles of Dharma. Thank you. Okay. If there are any questions, you can unmute and ask. Right. Otherwise, yes, Selva.
So this paragraph just before elements of right living, Swamiji has written, not to be impaired by concession or conformity to any institution. So, and then he goes on to say, not distorted with a religious bias.
Right.
So I'm not able to understand, because as conformity is bound to happen, isn't it a part of the fixation that we talk about? So what is it that he's asking us not to do?
See, the thing is, Swami Ramatita says, I do not belong to any institution. Institution belongs to me finally, right? So that is where we need to eventually go. There is Guru coming into our life, and the role of a true Guru is also to make you finally reach the self, which is beyond all the what is it in Bhagavad Gita? I think chapter 2, verse 45. I think 46. Ayavanatra udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. All the Vedas are eventually like the well where the whole village is flooded. Brahmanasya vijanataha, for one who is enlightened. So eventually Vedas are the ultimate authority. You have to conform to the Vedas. There is nothing beyond the Vedas, and we subscribe to the Vedas. Vedas is the authority, and there is nothing beyond the Vedas. But then he says, for an enlightened stage, Sarveshu Vedeshu, all Vedas are like the pond where the whole village is flooded. That means he is beyond it all, So that is the ultimate aim. So whether we are part of yes, you are part of a system, you are part of an institution, you need to contribute to that institution, you need to work well within the frame rules of the institution. All that is correct. But all this is like using as a stepping stone to move forward. So eventually he's talking about growing above every sort of a barrier, and even religious bias. When we are born into a religion, that bias we will carry. It will influence each and every part of our decision as we go along. But elements of right living says that you need to figure out the truth for yourself. When you figure out the truth for yourself and you want to confirm it in your living example, those bias should not come and hinder us. So you need to get over all it could be that at one stage RSS and other organizations, it's phenomenal, it's great, it has helped me, but I want to even further grow out of it. But at that point of time, the chains will naturally break off. In that sense, you need not deliberately want to go something against it. But as time will come where you cannot be confined and confounded to that, at that time, naturally, you will break all the institutions and everything go beyond. So for which he is putting the seed here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guruji, Ravi here. I have a follow-up question on this. So is it not like, since, we are all Hindus or maybe following the Sanatana Dharma,
right,
and we are kind of biased by this and then taking up these courses or maybe Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita and all that, like, is it not considered as a bias in the religion?
Right. That is why you need to apply these principles in your own life to find out if they are functioning, if they are making the things easier for you. Then these external knowledge becomes internalized for you. Okay. So yes, you are born as a Hindu, therefore you are introduced to these things, but that need not be the condition for you to blindly subscribe to that. That is why, as Sanatanis, we are seekers of the knowledge. We are inquirers. We are not blind believers. And this is, we can proudly say that our religion sort of endorses this, encourages this. So therefore, starting with the bias and prejudices will come when you want to pit one thing against the other and you are not able to confront it with any logical reason or argument. So the religion which takes you on the scientific path, which conforms to the internal science as much as the external science. In science, where there can be a bias? Is it because Newton has said or Einstein has said and I'm a fan of him that I have to say certain things? No. Science stands on its own authority. Like that, this knowledge stands on its own authority. There cannot be a bias after it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we meet on Friday for group discussion. Okay.
Poornam Adah Poornamidam Poornat पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः